Welcome to our channel, where we delve into the darkest corners of the world, bringing you tales that will chill you to your very core. Tonight, we venture into the realm of the unknown, a place where the veil between life and death wears thin. We bring you 3 cursed graveyards, each harboring tombs that should never be opened, each whispering secrets of unimaginable horror. Nestled deep within a forgotten forest, shrouded in an eternal mist, lies the haunted cemetery, a place where the air hangs heavy with the weight of countless sorrows. Locals whisper tales of its sinister past, of a darkness that seeped into the very soil, of souls forever bound to this earthly prison. They say that the cemetery was once a place of peace, a final resting place for weary travellers seeking refuge within the forest's embrace. But a darkness descended upon the land, a plague that spared no one, leaving behind a trail of death and despair. The bodies, too numerous to bury in consecrated ground, were laid to rest within the cemetery, their souls unable to find peace. Over time, the stories began. Travellers passing through the forest at night spoke of flickering lights dancing between the weathered headstones, of disembodied whispers carried on the wind, of spectral figures appearing from the swirling mist. Some dismissed these tales as mere superstition, the products of overactive imaginations fueled by fear and darkness. But others, those who had seen the horrors firsthand, knew the truth. The haunted cemetery was a place of immense power, a vortex of restless spirits trapped between worlds, their anger and sorrow palpable in the very air. They say that those foolish enough to venture into the cemetery after nightfall would often find themselves hopelessly lost, their minds playing tricks on them, their every step leading them further into the heart of the darkness. Some were said to have vanished without a trace, their screams swallowed by the ancient trees, their fates unknown. Others, driven mad by the relentless torment of the spirits, were found wandering the woods, their eyes wide with terror, their minds shattered beyond repair. But there were whispers of something even more sinister lurking within the cemetery's depths, something ancient and evil, something that fed off the fear and despair of the lost souls trapped there. It was said to be a shapeless entity, a manifestation of the darkness that had consumed the land, a being of pure malevolence that revelled in the suffering of others. Legends spoke of a tomb hidden deep within the cemetery's heart, a tomb that should never be disturbed. It was said to contain the remains of a powerful sorcerer, a man who had made a pact with dark forces, who had traded his soul for forbidden knowledge. His tomb, marked with a twisted ancient tree, was said to be a conduit to the other side, a gateway through which unspeakable horrors could enter our world. Those who dared to approach the tomb spoke of an overwhelming sense of dread, a feeling of being watched by unseen eyes. They felt the air grow heavy, the temperature plummet, as if the very earth were rejecting their presence. And then there were the whispers slithering into their minds, whispering promises of power and forbidden knowledge, tempting them to cross the threshold, to unleash the darkness that lay dormant within. In the desolate heart of a sun-scorched desert, where the wind howls through crumbling ruins and the bones of the earth bake beneath a merciless sun, lies the forbidden burial ground, a place avoided by even the bravest souls. Legends speak of a curse that hangs heavy over the land, a malevolent force that guards the secrets of the ancient tombs, punishing those who dare to disturb their slumber. The Forbidden Burial Ground was once a thriving city, a centre of commerce and culture, its people blessed by the bounty of a fertile valley. But their prosperity was short-lived. Greed and corruption poisoned their hearts, turning their once sacred traditions into rituals of dark magic. They sought power beyond mortal comprehension, delving into forbidden knowledge, summoning entities from beyond the veil. Their arrogance proved to be their undoing. The forces they had unleashed turned on them with a vengeance, twisting their city into a desolate wasteland, their once fertile valley into a barren expanse of sand and stone. The very air became thick with malice, the land poisoned by their hubris. The survivors, cursed for the sins of their ancestors, were scattered to the winds, their lineage forever marked by the shadow of the forbidden burial ground. Over time, the city crumbled, swallowed by the relentless desert sands, its once grand structures reduced to haunting ruins, its history lost to the whispers of the wind. But the curse remained, a palpable presence that clung to the crumbling stones, to the bleached bones half buried in the sand. It was said that the spirits of the city's inhabitants, twisted and tormented by their ancient transgressions, wandered the ruins, their cries carried on the desert wind, a chilling symphony of despair. Those foolish enough to ignore the warnings, driven by greed or a thirst for forbidden knowledge, often met with gruesome ends. Some were driven mad by the whispers of the desert wind, their minds shattered by the echoes of ancient curses. Others vanished without a trace, swallowed by the shifting sands, their bones left to bleach beneath the unforgiving sun. The tombs themselves, scattered across the desolate landscape like the teeth of a long-dead beast, were said to hold not only the remains of the city's inhabitants, but also the remnants of their dark power. It was said that they had inscribed their forbidden knowledge upon scrolls and tablets, entombing them with their dead, hoping to pass their power on to future generations. But the guardians of the forbidden burial ground, entities summoned from the darkest corners of existence, remained vigilant, their power amplified by the potent magic that permeated the land. They were said to take many forms, their appearances shifting and distorted by the desert heat, their true nature masked by the veil between worlds. Some spoke of seeing spectral figures cloaked in swirling sand, their eyes burning with malevolent fire, their touch draining the life force from those unfortunate enough to cross their path. Chapter 3. The Whispering Tombs. High atop a windswept plateau, overlooking a desolate and unforgiving landscape, stands the Whispering Tombs, a sprawling necropolis of crumbling mausoleums and weather-beaten headstones. Here, the veil between the living and the dead is stretched thin, the air thick with the whispers of forgotten souls, the ground heavy with the weight of centuries of sorrow and regret. Unlike other cemeteries, where silence often reigns, the Whispering Tombs are perpetually alive with sound. The wind, as it whips through the canyons and crevices of the plateau, seems to moan and sigh, carrying with it fragments of conversations, snatches of mournful cries, and the rustle of unseen beings moving just beyond the periphery of vision. The tombs themselves, some grand and imposing, others humble and long forgotten, are adorned with intricate carvings and cryptic inscriptions, testaments to the lives and deaths of those laid to rest within. But these carvings seem to shift and change with the fading light, taking on grotesque and unsettling forms, as if the very stones themselves were struggling to contain the restless spirits trapped within. It is said that the Whispering Tombs were once a place of pilgrimage, a sacred ground where the dead were honoured and remembered. But over the centuries, a darkness descended upon the plateau. Perhaps it was a curse brought on by a betrayal of the sacred trust, or perhaps it was something more ancient and malevolent, drawn to the concentrated energy of countless souls passing from this world to the next. Whatever the cause, the once peaceful necropolis became a breeding ground for restless spirits, their anger and sorrow amplified by the unique acoustics of the plateau, Their whispers carried on the wind like venomous seeds, taking root in the minds of those foolish enough to linger too long. The locals tell tales of travellers drawn to the whispering tombs by morbid curiosity or a thirst for forbidden knowledge who were never seen again. Some vanished without a trace, their belongings found scattered amongst the tombs as if they had simply stepped through a doorway into nothingness. Others were driven mad by the relentless whispers, their minds fracturing under the weight of centuries of anguish and despair. The most terrifying stories, however, whisper of the tomb guardians, spectral figures said to roam the necropolis, their forms shifting and indistinct, their eyes burning with a cold, ethereal light. These are not the spirits of the departed, but something far more ancient and malevolent, entities that feed on the fear and despair of the living, drawn to the whispering tombs like moths to a flame. Regardless of their true nature, the tomb guardians serve as a chilling reminder that the whispering tombs are not a place for the living. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into the heart of darkness. We've explored the eerie atmosphere of the haunted cemetery, braved the curses of the forbidden burial ground, and faced the whispers of the whispering tombs. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the unknown, for the darkness whispers to us all.